Do 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 do. Da.
Is that it?
None of that matched.
Jen, if you clapped in the background, the software's going to cut it out. But
Oh, I was trying applause emote.
well, that was definitely something. So, yeah, welcome to Alive on One. Shit, we have to change that since we released a Shatterpoint episode, don't we? An AMG miniatures podcast. My name's Steven, and I'm here tonight with Jen.
Hey, folks,
Hey.
I'm back.
Jen is back from Europe, and also our new co-host, Sean.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Oh, whoa! Stop breathing so heavily.
These are the kind of things that I bring, like the intro.
Yeah,
It was excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Yep. I think it's very much the beginning of the song and the end of the song, and that's the most important. No one cares about the middle at all.
Listen, every kingdom, every castle needs a jester. So here I am.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, good. All right. So, cool. So Sean is a new co-host. Our other co-host, new co-host, couldn't make it this evening, Eric. So I think he's coming on next week. So we'll introduce him then. But I guess we're actually kind of better this way. So Sean, for the sake of our listeners, let's just do who are you? Say you were lying on a couch, and I was like, tell me about your family.
Oh.
I'm sorry, getting some psychotherapy.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But anyways,
how am I feeling today?
Yeah, how are you doing today? Yeah, well, I guess what did I write here? Because it's probably really stupid. So just talk about how you got in the game. I know you actually did this on another episode, but I guess a brief overview of
Sure.
miniature.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So everybody, my name is Sean. Last name is don't worry about it. But so
oh no, wait, actually, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, so that would be really
Zidane.
useful.
Yeah, so it's Zdon, Zidane, but it's okay because I don't think a single soul has ever gotten it correct.
For your Final Fantasy IX fans out there, you actually have a last name very similar to the main character's name there, actually. So,
oh yeah, Zion or whatever it is.
I think people pronounce it Zidane, actually.
Oh, do they? Okay,
yes,
well there you go.
Yes. So
I love the Final Fantasy games, so there we go.
Yep.
Well, so I've been playing MCP since the beginning of time. I've been on here before, as you guys know, a massive, Spider-Foes player. It's not all I've played. Yeah, boo, I know, terrible. I played a lot of other factions too. Just kind of fell in love with the game, after a little bit of playing. Originally big into 40K, Age of Sigmar. My buddies we'd
You played 40K?
Yeah, for a hot minute. Yeah, for a hot minute. But the problem with 40K was that I just didn't jive well with the sci-fi of it all. I mean, it's still cool, but it's just not for me.
Mm.
So 40K fantasy or Sigmar fantasy is kind of more my style. But anyway, large army games like that, I can only do so much before the burnout's real.
Yeah, that's true.
MCP kind of fits the bill really nice in terms of a fun little skirmish game to play, as you guys know. But I've been playing it for a while.
What's MCP? Could you explain this game to me?
Yeah, fun little skirmish game. There's certainly no killing,
Is it a famous IP,
well, potentially.
It is owned by Disney, so you may know.
Disney, no, don't talk about that, Jen.
Oh wow, well, there's no copyright. But yeah, I mean, not much else to say besides, I love the game. I'm a avid player. I don't really have a local scene, so a lot of my play is TTS. So I love to meet people online. Love to play games against people and get to meet everybody on here, and met a lot of cool people, you guys included, which is why I've been blessed with the I've been blessed with the honor of joining your guys' amazing podcast. So thank you again. I appreciate that. But
and you had a hard on for our podcast from the get-go. So
I did. It was awesome. In the beginning, I was like, man, a community for this game? And turns out there's a lot of those.
It turns out we're not the only one.
It turns out every region, every friend group has a podcast for this game.
Yeah, but that just means it's popular and it's well designed, right? People like it.
Yeah. I also think it's just a nice little insight to like the vibe of each like area, like what people are kind of talking about and the way people talk about this game is very interesting to hear. If you ever do shuffle around the different podcasts.
Yeah, and ours in particular has its own flavor. So I think you fit that flavor, so you're here.
This is the only flavor that will accept me.
Oh, okay.
Well, we are happy to have you, Sean.
I appreciate it.
And I'll just note here on my note that I am the man who eventually crushes your body and soul. So welcome.
Yeah.
That's just the rivalry. Sorry, guys.
That's Steven's good morning text to me.
I texted Kenny this morning, and I forget what I said. I was like, you want a game? He goes, no, it's 7 a.m. And I'm like, I was just saying hello.
You have little response him to believe it's just a game every time you get him out.
You have either classically conditioned.
Kenny's like, God damn it, not at 7. But all right.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
We have actually played that early before. Yeah. He'll sometimes be like, all right, I'll go walk my dogs and I'll be on. So,
love that.
Cool. So we will embark on our journey of our opening segments. So, today's episode, I guess, is going to be, we're going to just talk about kind of like prepping for in a competitive, with a competitive intention, prepping for events. And so we'll kind of cover, all things about like what to do leading up to the event, how to, even just talk about picking an event that you find important, things like that. So, but before that, characters alive on one. So Jin has something here.
Oh yeah. So I got to play against the great and wonderful Pat Dumford in my final round of WTC recently. And, he was a pleasure opponent to play with. Very clean board state and whatnot. And there's just a lot of stuff that just kind of went my way that game. And one of the particular things I want to talk about is an alive 1-1 moment in my Inhumans versus Apocalypse match against him. So we basically had Great Refuge and double tap Beast like round 1 to daze him, and which is his Pestilence model at the 17 threat game. So this is really big because Pestilence is an incredibly powerful model, right, for Apocalypse. So,
Jin, I don't want to interject here, but I do actually. This is not making fun of you at all, but like you usually don't hold that. You usually don't play that round 1. I'm surprised just hearing you say that.
Yeah, so I realized that I did not gas the list enough. So basically, like it's like I decided to run the list like a bullet train. So we're just going to go for it. Either it works or it just doesn't work. So in that game, a lot of things came up Millhouse. So including Gorgon, who was proceeded to be attacked by several characters and was left alive on 1, so he still gets his activation round 2 to go into Beast on his injured side to leave him very close to let's see. Oh no, he actually KO'd Beast like with his activation because Black Bolt went first because I didn't lose priority. So Black Bolt got him down to 1. Then the Apocalypse Immortal Servants to bring it back up, and then Beast had to go back in with somebody, and that was Gorgon, and he was able to hoofquake him for the final killing blow before Beast actually got to activate proper. So I was really fortunate there by basically the middle of round 2, with Beast only getting 1 activation essentially to just double walk. And we took him off the board, basically, which made that match much smoother from then onward.
Yeah, turns out when you get rid of their Pestilence piece, life's a lot easier.
Yeah, we both looked at each other. We couldn't believe that Gorgon was alive on 1 to make that activation. I thought for sure he was super
Did you point
dead.
to yourself and go, this is my podcast?
Oh,
Listen,
man.
Pat Dumford.
Listen, Pat Dumford, to this. No, I mean, like, obviously, like, I think I was just, like, pinching myself. Like, I was like, I guess I'm here, and I can't believe I'm here at the moment. Like plugging anything was, like, the last thing on my mind, like, at the moment.
Yeah, and you
But yeah,
squeezed out the win in that game too. So congrats,
yeah,
man. That's a big accomplishment. I feel like.
thank you. I mean, obviously, like I think what it was is like I all I could do is just give myself good positions to set up stuff for the way,
Mm-hmm.
and then the dice just like super cooperated with me. And like on Pat's side, also like it's the opposite of my TTS dice, as you know, which
Yeah.
usually don't do anything.
Yeah.
IRL Jin dice for that moment did everything.
Nice.
So it was definitely a very humbling experience, and it was a
Yeah.
really good match to play with.
And Waller and I have talked about this a lot. Like we talk about players who we admire, and I know you're on the podcast, so technically saying nice things about you isn't allowed. But you've always been like you kind of like trained both him and I to become better players, like single handedly. And so like your game plans are always really really good, and your outs and your lines. It just ends up like half the time your dice just bomb, and we're not just talking like we're not just talking like average. We're talking like they bomb. So
It's
it's good to
yeah.
hear.
Yeah, I guess for that instance, like that game really felt like I got the spirit bomb from everybody, or like some sort of like weird karmic like inverse thing that happened that moment where like the Moses Sea like parted and like the victory path was just there.
The
That's
MCP guys were like, "We're gonna give this guy a break finally."
we'll give you this one if nothing else. If you stop playing today, at least we'll give you this one. So yeah, I'm not sure how much or else we'll talk about in other places, but I just want to highlight that particular moment, being like, it's like, oh my god, that was such a gift to be able to
Yeah,
like go back into Beast to finish him out before he gets to like do Pestilence Beast things with full power. So
that's really good to hear. Um, and also like, congrats on your whole team's performance. There, or I know. So we're. I didn't want to like force Jin to talk about it on our podcast. So GameStore Guardians, which will have all the team members, I'm guessing, is most likely going to do an episode on their WTC performance. So
yep, cross our fingers. We're going to get everybody together so we can have a nice little like the post wrap up of our performance and our thoughts and any internal questions we have for each other for that experience.
yeah, and we'll advertise that on ours when that comes out because I think it's important to listen to. And you guys are technically the number one team. You're the number one team in America. So
yep, I think we definitely placed the highest out of any American team so far at WTC. So we'll see next year if we can repeat that success or even do better.
Let that banner fly. You guys can wear United States colored clothing at events, and no one can argue with you now. It's like, well, we're the best. Sorry.
No comment.
Yeah, just joking. But congrats on that. That sounds like a really cool game. I really wish that was on stream. I said it in the last podcast, but like, my goodness, I was sitting there all weekend. Like, I can't believe I can't watch any of these.
Yeah, there's no recording. You just had to be there. Like kind of moments, unfortunately.
Is there no streams for this whatsoever?
I don't think so.
So yeah, unfortunately, because the attendance were slightly lowered this year, I'm assuming probably because of like economic conditions are just tough for everybody, like as a whole, versus like the year before. So the year before, we were gracious that the PCN, the Professional Casual Network, was able to come over, to Europe to do some of the recordings, which was really great, but just simply wasn't in the budget, and like we can't ask him to like. And his team to lug everything over, on his own dime to cover the events, So
sure.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know if there's people are considering like a pool or like maybe like a GoFundMe. Maybe Tim should like do that for like the next year or something. Like I'd donate to that because it's a really cool event. And it's a really like important event, I think, for MCP, especially in the team context. So it'd just be cool to like see games if you can't go, because a lot of people can't go. So like I would personally like throw in like $100 in order to just watch it or something like that. So
yeah,
maybe that's something.
I think I was just more surprised that there's nobody like within. I mean, like obviously PCN's between London, Denmark, Sweden, like any of the especially with the countries that are sending a lot of teams, because all three of those countries sent a ton of teams.
How many England teams were there?
I want to say there were at least like 4 or 5 for each of those countries I listed there. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was quite a bit. They made up at least like half the the amount of folks that are participating, because there was 32 teams, and I would say half of them are from those 3 countries, basically.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
it's-
want to go. I just like it's about finding people who also can afford to go. So
Yeah, that's
part
interesting
partly.
because the usually a couple of the events I've been to, they have like one table, and it's kind of randomized, and it's like, hey, if you made it on the table XYZ, this game's getting streamed, and the equipment's here, and it's all set up, and that's that. So I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but it is kind of cool to just be randomized as a, hey, this game every once in a while is getting streamed, and if you were lucky enough to land on that table, then cool. But you're right, there is a lot of effort that goes into it.
Yeah, streaming's kind of a thankless job. So like I'm glad we have people in the space that are willing to do it. It's really hard. Camera work's really hard. Camera equipment's even more expensive. Like, I remember when like Nick, Steven and I were like, oh yeah, let's like start this podcast. And then like at one tournament, we took just like a handheld camera. We're going to like film one game and then kind of like do a YouTube video on it. And even that alone, I was just like, this is too much. Let's just stick to the audio. So, it can be a lot of work for sure. But, I guess moving on. So I have something here that I'm not going to read. I don't have an alive one. We'll just put it that way. And so Sean, your first alive one, or damn it, it's not really your first.
No, it can be. Sure, why not?
Okay,
it can be.
It's always your first.
Yeah, my first. Unfortunately, I have to cede and say that my Alive on One story has to do with Spectacular Spider-Man winning me the TTS East, so that's cool.
Oh, that's nice. He comes on, talks about a 6-0 performance.
It's a terrible thing to say here, but I have to. So
okay.
So I was playing Sam Vengers with Hulkbuster. I actually think there were a couple of finals games that had Hulkbuster lists, which was really cool to see. And it came down to Spectacular and Lizard. I was playing Spider Foes, just as a heads up. But I think it was end of turn 4, and I needed 1 point to take it. And I was holding Lizard and Spectacular were holding an extract in the corner, and he had Black Cat kind of middle of the board, but he had Hulkbuster near the top. And Hulkbuster basically did his best to daze Lizard. Got close to dazing Lizard. Lizard was alive on 1, and he was able to throw something into Lizard, which the chances were pretty good he was going to daze him, take his extract, and then Spectacular is kind of sitting on 1, and he could easily just attack him and take him off. And I used a sacrifice play to sacrifice it off a Lizard onto Spectacular. Spectacular lives on 1, and because Hulkbuster is forced to push no matter what on the builder, he pushed Spectacular out of Black Cat's range, and she could not steal the extract, and I took it 16-15. So that was awesome.
Nice.
I love Hulkbuster, but it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, this character needs to be changed.
Yeah, even just that would be like the you have to push would be kind of nice.
Yeah, yep. And it was one of those situations where I wanted Spectacular to be hit so he could be pushed out of range, and it's just kind of crazy with the way it works and the way the character is. But of course, Spectacular tanked the attack like a boss. Of course, I have to give him some credit.
You don't, but I appreciate
I do.
it.
I definitely have to.
Parker's great. He's the best character ever.
Yeah,
he is. He is certainly a fantastic 3-threat. I find myself wanting to reach for him more often than most of my foe 3-threats, which says a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense to me though. But
you can say that for a lot of affiliations too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, Spec's pretty popular in general. Cool. So hobby stuff. I got my spiders in the mail today. They're currently on my lap. So I will be building those.
Okay.
As soon as
I'm glad you said that. I thought they were just unbuilt in pieces on your lap, and I was like, "What?"
I'm just gently stroking my character cards.
You're just covered in spruce.
One in particular. So delicious.
Wonder who that could be.
This is why Steven can't give any credit to Peter Parker, because he feels threatened by him.
Exactly. You got it. It's a sort of Freudian complex.
really just a tale of jealousy and envy we're gonna have going on here.
Some Oedipus stuff. Oh no, okay. I just realized that's wildly inappropriate. All right, you guys do anything? My guess is no, but I'll ask.
As far as like hobby catch up, no,
Yeah.
I've been too busy traveling and stuff, so nothing on my
Yeah.
end. How about you, Sean?
Not much for me either. I haven't really been painting last few weeks. I've kind of been just getting games in here and there. So I guess playing a few games online, but that's kind of really been it.
So I hear there's this guy who might take commissions. Like, say you're having like a newborn child or something, and you can't paint anymore.
Hypothetically,
just saying.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically. I'll give you my. You can slide in my DMs later. All right.
Hypothetically, what if somebody wanted you to finally finish painting a Sandman because he can't bring himself to do it? Hypothetically.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I would love to paint that model.
You have to use real
the
sand
texture
though.
on it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I mean,
I have plenty of that.
Yeah, I mean you don't
actually
but
do.
You do. So
I actually have tons of. I use a lot of basing material and weathering material, who you can find on our affiliate link. Huge miniatures below. But I do use a lot. I know it. Well, it just came up for once. I'm going to use Silk's. I'm going to keep all of Silk's cards in all these different languages. Her name is Seda in. Oh, it's like Spanish. All right. Anyways, so life stuff. I just recorded yesterday, so it feels like I'm repeating myself. But basically, my life has been really well. It's been fine, but like I am learning a tons of pathology and anatomy for basically the lungs, respiratory system, and the cardiovascular system. So, because my professor sucks, so I have to learn it all on my own. So that's what I've been doing. How about you guys?
Well, I did take a trip to Denmark again, returning to Copenhagen, which is a really nice city. Kind of pricey, like because I feel like it's kind of like New York kind of price over there because it's a major metropolitan area. But the offset of that is the fact that public transportation is incredible over there. It's a really safe city. Like I said, I cannot imagine coming to a city that until last year, there's like no one locks up their bikes. Like it's a bike heavy city because there's like dedicated bike lanes and people don't lock up their bikes when they put them somewhere.
I heard about this. I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of honor system stuff. Even the public transportation, they don't actually make you scan in your ticket whenever you go on anything. Instead, they'll just do randomized checks once in a while. There'll be like some sort of ticket officer that will just come on board once in a while and just ask for your ticket, and that's it. But it's sporadic. It's not an always thing that they do on the trains, buses, or the metro that they have it.
They trust people over there?
Yeah, and you know what? It's a pretty nice place, Stephen.
Speaking of it being a nice place, so Jin, you guys probably won't talk about this in your GameStore Guardians episode, so we'll do it here. What are some like great things to do while you're over there? I know Sean wanted to hear about your more like your life experience while you're over there, so you can talk about that.
Yeah, how's the food?
Yeah, no, the food is pretty good. I'd say that the ingredients just in general feel like a little bit fresher. I'll reiterate the story from last year that I didn't go any fast food places this time around, but last year when I was on my own, I did go to a McDonald's like over there, and I was like, I noticeably felt less like a sack of bad after eating the McDonald's there, which is pretty funny. And then they had like a bunch of I would say a combination of like gyro shawarma places, but they're also pizza places. So you usually can get pizzas with like like Middle Eastern kind of like meats and stuff on spittles, which is really really nice. This year we Kelly came along with me and we did a lot of castle tours. That was our main thing. Because there were just a lot of strongholds, because they probably had to defend themselves against a lot of different ancestral enemies, including the Swedes. I had no idea until just this trip, like how deep the Danish versus the Swedes, all time like instance of war and rivalry has been. There was even a rumor that if the river was like not the river, but the sea was frozen, and someone from that country comes over to your country, they're legally obligated to be killed by by your forces. So like, should the sea freeze over and the Swede goes over to Denmark, the Denmarks have to kill them. That was a rumor. I found out that's just hearsay, but man, it's a very popular thing that a lot, even folks, even the Danes like believe it's true, and you have to fact check them on that, which is interesting. But there's a lot of historical castles there, including we went to the castle that inspired Hamlet. That is, I think it's Helsingborg. It's like at the top right of the city of Copenhagen. We also visited the Viking Museum as well, which is very interesting. Learned a lot more about Vikings.
Oh, that's real cool. I was super into Vikings for a while. I don't know if you know that about me, but I learned runes at one point, Nordic runes.
That's dope. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the Vikings were just like a very small amount of the population, and they're kind of like, it's more of, it's one of those stereotypes. It's like not all people from this area were Vikings, and it was like a very
They were mostly farmers, I think.
Yes,
for the
exactly.
most part, yeah.
And it was kind of wild to like think about the way that they built the boats, because they sort of had to grow the trees and find trees in the shape of the boards, I guess they need to make the boats. So like they didn't bend the wood. It, like they had to find trees and like whittle them down to like get those arches and stuff like in there. So it was kind of wild for that. So yeah, no, it was a good thing to learn a bunch of history from there as well. So did that. We tried going to the shuffleboard place that we did last layer, which was pretty fun, but for some reason they were booked up all night, and we were sitting around for an hour just like, so when are these guys coming to play the shuffleboard? Because we could have given you money like 45 minutes ago to play. And they're just like, no, it's booked up. I was like, they'll come any minute. I'm just like, okay. So that was just a random thing there.
So weirdly enough, Rob just decided to text me at this exact moment that we're recording, and he made a comment about you getting the best sex of your life because you beat Dunford. And I just had to share that on here. Because it's as you're sitting here talking about Denmark, Rob just literally pops in my phone and goes, I hope Jin got the best sex of his life. I was like, okay, Rob, okay.
I don't think this is how that works, man. Like,
yeah, I'm like, that's more of a question for Rob and his wife than that is for you.
like I like that both Rob said it to me, so I'll say this. Like Rob has now said that to me, and then Mike Whalen has said that to me as well.
I wouldn't expect anything less from those two.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you did. Okay, yeah, I have more questions about them more than I have answers at this point.
I guess also Rob was saying he went to a concert and he tried to start a mosh pit and got punched in the face trying to be violent. I kind of love that. I guess that summarizes Denmark. They don't come around and ticket you. If you try to do violence, they violence you back.
Yeah, that it's I spoke with our tour guide for the Viking museum, and that they said like, as an anthropologist, it's very strange that we are a country of introverts, basically, which I thought was a very fun way to describe it. And maybe they're just like, it's like we care about things, and we will definitely do our best to make sure that they stay the way they are.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you had a really good time too. So I'm glad you got to go on like an actual vacation, not just like a gaming one. So that's really cool.
Yeah. How long were you there for?
Oh, the better part of a week. So we arrived on Monday morning, and we left the following Monday afternoon, I want to say. So
that's awesome. That's a nice healthy mix. To be able to enjoy, other things outside of being there, but also being able to game. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Another weird thing that one last thing I'll say, Sean, is that we experienced daylight savings over there, because their daylight savings was last weekend.
Oh wow. So
now I get to go through daylight savings over here as well. So I feel like I've added 2 extra hours, like incoming to my life in a weird way.
What's the time difference over there?
It's supposed to be 6 hours, but now because of that, we're in this weird spot that now it's only 5 hours, I think. So then it'll be back to 6 hours once our daylight savings happen.
Chin is a part of the Spider-Verse. He's catching up, losing time. He doesn't know where he is.
I am motoring like all over the place right now. It's kind of wild.
Love it.
How's your week been coming back with the time change? You been okay?
My sleep has been all over the place. I'm hopefully going to get back to somewhat stable amount by this weekend. So we're just going to cross our fingers on that one.
Yeah. I know when I've traveled to Europe before, they like made us stay up. Like I went with some program at first, and they like made us stay up like the entire day when we got there. It was fucking brutal. So I can imagine. Cool. Any kind of like thought? Any kind of like I don't want to say last thoughts. Like I don't know how to phrase this. Do you want to say anything else?
Fun fact: the Icelandic horses have a different gait than American horses.
Oh no way!
Yeah, so
I
they
want
actually
to go to Iceland so badly.
Yeah,
that's it.
The horses are smaller and they have really way cooler hair. It's really neat, and they walk differently.
Oh, cool!
So
Very cool.
Very cool.
That's my last thing there. So let's proceed.
Cool. I will say one thing that I just found out because Rob was texting me. The next one's going to be in Amsterdam. So, someone please go with
nice.
me. Please.
My wife and I want to go there so badly.
All right. So Sean's in.
Yep.
Yep.
You just need three more. So, no, I'm serious. If you're interested in starting a team, please contact me. I will be arriving a couple of days early to experience some of the Amsterdam lifestyle. Let's just put it that
way. I hear they're the same, Jin, where they everyone's bikes. There's just bikes everywhere, and you almost can't move along because there's so many people that just use that as public transportation, and they just leave them. They don't chain them up or anything, like you said.
That's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool, though. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You just if you can honor system that, you know that at the end of the day, and it's happened to you before where nothing's going to happen. That's pretty cool, I would say.
It does remind you that people probably aren't inherently evil. Just maybe our cultures. So
yeah, it's just us. That's all.
Yeah, it's really it makes you think about the nature versus nurture kind of deal, right? Which is a very heady topic, but just want to throw that out there that like, hey, maybe people are all right,
Yeah, there's I won't get into that. Some of my previous life or my current life is leaking out. Well, like on the podcast right before we were talking, I was like, Jin said it, very, very well. You get behind the dick jokes, and there's actually someone who's pretty compassionate there. And I do think that people are inherently good. So, when you're kind of stressing, just remember that Denmark exists and that we have an example for people who kind of live their lives a little bit differently than us. So I don't know how we got here, but thus is my podcast. My podcast. I'm owning it now. I'm just kidding. Cool. So, Sean, any life stuff from you?
No, just
how's the wife?
Good.
Yeah.
Everything's good with the baby. We've had a lot of checkups. Kind of just been working hard, and I have been playing. I haven't been playing much MCP recently because I've been playing Hollow Knight Silksong. Amazing game.
Is that?
It's a 2D platformer. It's an amazing game. I waited 6 years for. I'm sure somebody who listens to this knows it. And if they don't, then that's fine. You know how that relates?
Is it like a crawler type thing, like Ninja Turtles?
It's like a Metroidvania. I don't know if you know what that is. Kind of like a
nope.
like a 2D platformer, like a side scroller kind of thing.
Okay, like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, sure. Yep, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the one that I know.
the only reason it relates is because Silk is the best MCP character.
Oh, is this the MCP game or the Marvel game?
No. The game's called Silksong, though.
Yeah,
that's how I relate it back. Yeah,
there's a very loose connection. Gotcha.
It's a terrible one.
You tried.
It worked.
You tried. That's all that counts.
No. Other than that, really, it's just been. I've been trying to get some games in, but it's just family stuff, life stuff, work stuff.
Yeah, grinding at work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get 2 hours to yourself. I can imagine. So I think Hollow Knight sequel makes a ton of sense here.
Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great for late nights when you kind of just want to shut your brain off for a little bit and just kind of just coast through something that's fun.
Mm-hmm. That new Marvel game's coming out too, so I anticipate buying that for myself on Switch and doing exactly what we just talked about, turning your brain off. So,
Love it. There
but
you go.
to be fair, I'd rather play TTS than a game like that. I think most occasions. That's not true because like sometimes like TTS like involves thinking. Like playing MCP for me now like involves thinking. So like turning your brain off is like a good idea sometimes.
Yeah, webs involves a lot of
A lot of
thinking right
thinking.
now,
Yeah.
and a lot of stress, and I can kind of tell almost that it can be pretty taxing if you don't have the reps.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. I was talking to Waller. Jen, I don't think you were there for this, but I was like, other affiliations by like 20 games, I'm feeling pretty confident. By 30, it's like auto mode, and I was like, with webs, it's like at 30, I'm still like, at 30 to 40 reps with them, I'm still like, oh, I need like 60 to like get this on autopilot.
Oh yeah, especially when you add in the Spider-Verse like complexity of like, what is the potential one bump give me here?
Yeah. I don't play Spider-Verse anymore. Spoiler alert, I guess. I kind of shifted leaderships at this point and leaned into one thing, but yes, it does. So, especially like, a good example is like your game on TTS the other night. Like it just like didn't cross your mind that like you could like push someone. I guess that's not really Spider-Verse, but it's a little web thing, right? You could like push someone, so trigger Silk's thing, she moves onto the point, you score the point, right? Some of those like little tiny things you just forget about when you're playing webs. So
yeah, it was in that instance I was so focused on like not what was it? Like not getting rapid fire but my mistake next turn. I forgot that I still want to score points. So yeah, a trap from Silk would have totally like gotten a short move to get back on the point. I was like, ugh, you silly goose. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but those little things like with webs like really matter. Like I think Waller, my example is after the team tournament, Waller was like, "You need to use Lifesaver more," and I was like, "Fuck, I always forget that Gwen has fucking Lifesaver." So it's just like those little things because like her, her normal action or the way I use her typically is like move, push, pull, move back kind of thing or something like that. So gain of power because people usually don't hit her. So she's kind of like generating her own power. But like Waller was like, there's these little cool tips, and I was like, oh man, you're right. Like I should be really less the pull, more like saving my dudes a little bit more. So there's just like those little nuances in the webs that just take so many reps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone want to say something?
Yeah. Also, the gamble on the skull too is
Yeah.
a little bit more crazier than I anticipated. Like Jen, I was watching your game too, and you were kind of like moving off the point and going, yeah, if I get a skull, I can get both things here. I can like stay out of martial artist range, and I could get the skull to bump back on the point and do damage. Like those little mind games are kind of like, do you get riskier, or do you bank on the skull or not? It just opens up so many play patterns.
Yeah.
Sean, it's awful. I'm so greedy with this leadership.
I don't blame you. I don't even know at this point if it's more of a help or a hindrance because you see the pathway and you're like, man, I could have everything I want. And you
I just have to roll a skull.
And then there's times where you don't, and you're like, man, this just feels terrible. But if you didn't, the highs would be like through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Chasing those highs. I think that's what Jin's doing right now.
I mean, that's what I live for, buddy.
Yeah.
Cheer me up.
So we are going to talk about webs again. I know we were all really excited. We'll probably have Matt Alex on after PAX. Jin, I think is a good time for you, me, Waller, and Matt to sit down and talk about where our list went. So,
sure. Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. Because I think also me and Waller and you are going in different directions right now, which is cool because it means there's different builds, right?
Yep.
So super cool. But speaking of which, speaking of webs, upcoming events. So Jin, you don't have anything on the schedule for TBS?
No, I think they're just too many schedule things and just the pressure of just like getting stuff ready for WTC. I just didn't have time to submit the 4-week notice to my shop. So instead, I want to plug our friends at Coffee Milk Crisis, Rob, Garrett, and MJ, who are hosting a event at the Crypt in Providence, Rhode Island on November the 8th. So please check out that. They are well within our driving distance for our New England fellow listeners. So please check out the Crypt. They're currently, I think, a max of 12 players. 8 have signed up, so there's still 4 slots available. So please check out that tournament.
Jin?
I am thinking about it.
Well, maybe we can carpool then. So, I love those guys. They were great guys to meet at the event. So yeah, support that. And then down in Jersey or Philly, I guess technically, PAX Unplugged. Sean, you snoozed and you lost because it's full and there's like a 7-person waiting list.
Yeah, it's mega full. I take the L on that one.
Yeah, but there will be one here that we're forcing you to go to. So PAX Unplugged, that is full. Will is TOing that. Will Castillo. And then after that, we have the Standoff in Portland, Maine. That's our homeboy hero. I wish I could just cue the song "Baby Come Back." I know I mentioned that in another episode, but I really want it just like on call for whenever I mention Maddox. It'll be like Steven Maddox, "Baby Come Back," and then if I start using bits, then we really are just a fucking Howard Stern-esque MCP talk show. So, but Standoff, Portland, Maine. That I think Steven kept that at like 18, so there's like 6 or 7 slots left. Sign up for that. Then after that, there's the event that Sean is being forced to go to. No questions. Like if you say no to this, I don't know what I'll do.
I'll be
it'll
there.
Be violent. All right,
Nope,
sign
I'll
up.
be there.
Everwinter. Oh, okay, December 5th through 7th. Sign up on the Longshanks, Sean, because it's not official till it's Longshanks official.
That is true.
And then after that, oh, and Jin, are we allowed to say anything about the Sunday?
I don't have the specific details because I think Brian probably has specific window dressing that he wants to do for it. But let's just say that if you don't want to participate in the alternate format, and if you didn't make the top cut for day 2 of Everwinter, I can run another pod that is going to be just a normal MCP pod if you just want to get normal games as well. So please stick around for Sundays. We're all together. We're at this convention, so it's like if you guys just want to do another small tournament, I'm happy to host another one for everybody there.
Cool. Yeah, I think I accidentally mentioned that on a podcast before. I just wasn't sure if I was allowed to. But yep, so that's Everwinter, December 5th through 7th. Captain Con, or Captain Con, depending on your articulation of the end there, in Warwick, Rhode Island, January 30th to February 2nd. Singles January 30th. Team event January 31st to February 1st. I think we've explained this one a bit, so that sign-ups are still open. Sign up for that. There was a time in this podcast where I put links under, but it's too much work, so just find it yourself. You can just Google all these things and they come up pretty easily. So, cool. So on to tonight's topic. I think, how long was that? Oh, wow. We spent 40 minutes talking about other stuff. Damn. All right. Well, oh my God. It was like, it's going to be like 25 minutes or something. Okay. So prepping for events. I guess we'll just blaze through this. Cool. So tonight's topic, we're going to be talking a little bit about like kind of prepping for events, and some of the reason this kind of came up. Well, A, we didn't have a topic about 2 hours ago, and B, I've been thinking a lot about like how to prepare for PAX and like getting scheduled games in and things like that. Even just to get like, because my intention at PAX is like to do well and like do the best that I can. I think. And Waller's intention is also that. So like, I think most people's is, but I'm like going to try to adequately prepare for this event is what I mean. And so with that thought in mind, with WTC, and just coming back from it, which is another tournament that those guys like really practice for. I mean, even Rob practices, I think for that. So we're going to just talk a little bit about like when you want to go to an event, or maybe even just having, so just briefly, I guess I'll compare this to like, maybe some of our listeners have the experience of when you're prepping for like a race, like a 5K or something. Say you want to go run the 5K. So we're just going to kind of break down like how you prepare for that. Going to run a 5K and trying to run your fastest time is a little bit different than just signing up for a 5K and being like, oh, I'm going to run this on Saturday or something like that. So we're talking about tournaments in the context of like, you have the intention of like going to them, doing the best that you can, and trying to be as prepared as you can for them. That a good summary?
Yeah, I would say so. Basically, I think you want to like look at the event and then figure out like it's like what is your personal like desire to be there, right? And yeah, either winning it means that you have to prep in a certain way, but if you're just there to sort of just like roll dice, especially if it's like a more casual like event, then that's a different like energy like altogether, right? So sort of like honing on the energy of the event, and like what are you kind of shooting for, right?
Yeah, and I definitely want to differentiate the way we're talking about this is going to be prepping for, like, with the 5K metaphor, prepping to like race at your best time.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
gonna,
Some
yeah.
people race with 5Ks with just costumes and it's very
Well,
fun.
that's what I mean. I'm just talking about intention, right? So I want to set the stage that the way we're talking about this is more for like when you're going to a big event and you want to like not make sure you do well. It's you want to perform to the best that you can at the time.
Gotcha. Okay, yep.
Yeah. Did you take that differently when I said this topic, or?
No, I just remember the people race in costumes, so I just wanted to mention
Oh,
that.
okay. You just wanted to bring it up. All right. Yeah, they do, and they also do like glow light races too. My friend actually texted me. I'm in New Hampshire for the weekend, and my friend like texted me. He's like, "Want to go this 5K tomorrow?" And it's like a race in the mountains in the dark, and you have to like run by headlight. So, I am very ill prepared to do that. So I told her no.
Wait, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to run 10K right now. So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so sorry you don't want to run.
Hey, I was a runner. I did cross country.
No,
did pretty well.
That's okay. I would walk it. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on to MCP, because it's been 40 minutes talking about not MCP. Well, we did MCP adjacent, so I guess that's good enough. So I guess the first topic bullet point, I mean, there's some stuff that's just kind of like spread out here that'll come up. But I think the first thing, obviously, is like choosing an event. And so I wrote this down, so I'll say kind of like my intention behind this. I think it's more important when you want to do well to like pick an event that you want to do well at, with the intention of like having enough time to prepare for it, right? So like an RTT or something, like I might sign up for that like the week of and like be, I'm unsure if I'm going to this. But like an event where I like am like, I want to do well here. I'm going to try to practice or the best that I can. I don't want to say well, because like sometimes things just happen. Pairings is a whole nother, who you get paired into. You can hit all your bad matchups. It's happened to me in 40K plenty of times. But like, you want to pick an event like far enough away with enough people where you can, for your own comfort level, where you can feel like, going X and whatever here at this event will feel pretty good. Right. So I think picking your events like a really important aspect of all of this, and like making sure, for like Jin, we've talked about this before too, like having too many of these in a year can like drain you and like actually like causes some burnout. So it's important to pick like a few and like prepare for them adequately. So in my opinion, I guess. So picking the event's your first step. So like choose something you want to go to, choose something, that has an adequate amount of people. For me, I guess that would be like 30 to 100 would be something I'd pick for that. I don't think there's like a strict number. Like if you want to do well at your, local RTT, like that's fine. Just make sure you have enough notice to like get some reps in. The only problem there is like the meta is not as wide, so it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
So yeah, well, okay. So for Marvel, like I would say that probably local events are probably going to be like probably like a dozen or so like people, right? And the larger events I would say is like, yeah, you're getting close to like 30 people. And then there's like, like crazier big events like LVO or WTC where you have like 100 or so like players, right? Like
or CarlCon now is a big one too.
Yeah. Oh, shout outs to CarlCon. Yeah, like they're killing it as well. Like I think it was did they got 64 players, I think was the last one. Yeah.
And that one, the one they do, the same guys who do squad goals in the fall is like at 60 now as well. So
yeah, second win hosted by the Taco Truck guys.
Yeah.
Great event. Good times at the breweries as well. So yeah, which is interesting because like it that event is so interesting because it's like there's a lot of like excellent players there, right? And you can certainly like go with the intention to win and get like excellent like high level games there. But there's also like they put out a lot of fun perks of just like it's like, hey, you just get a token if you're best in faction. So if you're the only guy that plays Winter Guard there, guess what? You're gonna get the best in faction like award there, and it's also at a brewery. So,
Yeah.
like, people are absolutely this even if you're not at a brewery, a lot of people go to tournaments. They get kind of lit, like during
Yeah.
it.
No, it's never happened to me before.
No, never, Steven.
What?
Yeah, no, it's true though. Like people go there to have fun. Like that's like the one weekend. For example, like, when I pick an event, if my intention is not like kind of what we're talking about a little bit here, I'm gonna have that's a weekend that I'm picking to just have a good time. Away from my normal life with my friends, right? So.
Right, but again, that's you running a 5K drinking beer, like which is not
Right.
what we're doing here. We're doing 5K trying to win the event, right?
Yeah. Which actually I should talk about briefly because it's in my notes too. Is like maybe don't drink the night before you have to play. Like don't have a good time the night before you have to play if your intention is to So I wrote here staying healthy, so day of you can perform. This comes from personal experience. So, sometimes you maybe had too much to drink the night before and you wake up and infinity looks like Mutant Madman and you do stupid things. So
those two aren't even close to similar. What?
Yeah. Well, I looked at a B map and said this is Mutant Madman, so it's clearly a plate flip.
No, who could ever confuse those two?
Yeah, but I mean that is despite my own fuck ups sometimes. I think it's important to maybe the night before get a good night rest if you can. I know sometimes when you're traveling it is hard. I don't sleep particularly well in hotel beds the first night. And often when you're going to an event, you get there the night before and then, you sleep and wake up and play. But I think it's important to stay hydrated the day before. So make sure you're drinking water the day before the event. If you want to, kind of perform at your maximum mental capacity too. So I guess just quickly we talk about that kind of stuff too.
Just to piggyback off of you there, I don't think I guess people know somewhat, but I don't think people understand how mentally taxing it can be physically on you as well. At the end of the day after an event. So say you've got 5 games in one day and your body just feels like it's been hit by a truck sometimes.
Yep.
And
coming home after a day of playing can often feel like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you think about it and you're like, man, I didn't really move around at all, but your heart rate's up, right? And you're standing a lot and things like that. And you don't realize
being released.
Right. And your body's burning calories. So you got to make sure you keep up with food and some of those things that you don't think about, right? Because you're standing around and going, well, I'm kind of just standing here. I'm relaxing. It's okay. But realistically, you're not.
Yeah, your body is more than likely, if you want to get into the anatomy of it, your body is more than likely activating the sympathetic nervous system, which means you're releasing cortisol, norepinephrine, and other chemicals that not only raise your heart rate, but constrict your your blood vessels and things like that. So it is actually taxing on your heart and your your whole body, generally speaking. And you're standing all day too, which most people aren't used to.
Right. But if you don't take care of yourself, that's how you can get pretty bad headaches during events, things that can throw you off. And I just think that stuff like that can be so easily overlooked because it doesn't seem like it fits the standard, but it really does. I don't know. 5 Mile hike isn't the same, but you're not thinking of it the same way.
Right. And no, that it's a super, super good point. And even still, some people don't think about it who go to tournaments a lot. And I think thinking about your physiology is probably should be your main concern too, because I know some events I've gone to as well. After for example, after I came home from squad goals, I just slept for 2 days. So if you're traveling as well, that's a whole another emotional tax to people. Some people are also terrified of flying. So there's a whole other thing there. I won't mention names, but someone drove out to squad goals because they were afraid of flying. So they drove for a bunch of hours to get there. So it's you got to make sure that you're taking care of your body, because also if you want to do well, and in that context, you got to make sure your mind is sharp. Because when you're at kind of a certain level of gameplay, or you're not even if you're at a certain level of gameplay, when you're playing MCP, you're thinking your brain's actively thinking about how you can win that game. So you want to make sure you give your brain and your body kind of the best, put it in the best situation, at least that it can be, for like a 4 or 5 rounder, right?
Yeah, and you're in it, right? Your mind's thinking about plays and not making mistakes and mental errors and things like that. So you're not really exactly juggling everything at one time. Well, you are juggling, but you're not thinking about it all at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
I've come back from events and it's been a full day, and I've looked at my like Fitbit and I've burned like 4,000 calories, and I'm going, what in the world? But then you think about it, and you're like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah. You're walking
my
around a lot,
yeah,
too.
my watch is yelling at me because it's like, man, your heart rate's up, and I'm like, yep, don't worry about it.
It's all good. I'm just playing MCP. But I guess some good recommendations in general for like snacks. And I know a lot of people don't like to do this. And, by all means, like I encourage you to like go out and, eat like a really good dinner after you're done with your games with your friends. Like they're social events inherently. So go be social. But like Maddox has this thing where he's also like medically trained. So there's a little bit of insight there. But baby, come back. I'm just gonna add that in. But he eats a really light lunch, so he'll bring like adult Lunchables to events he wants to do well at. And that's a good solution, like a light lunch. Like eat a hearty breakfast, eat a light lunch, eat a heavy dinner, and particularly make sure you're getting like vegetables because they have a lot of vegetables, fruits, especially fruits because the sugar will really help. Drinking lots of water. However much water you think, if you think you're drinking enough, drink a little bit more, like a couple extra bottles. It'll just like help you perform like way better mentally. So take lion's mane mushrooms a week before the event. I don't know if you get that intense about it, but like those can help with your memory. There's some other stuff. But yeah, just like make sure you're taking care of yourself. So hitting all the food groups, and that's a basic thing that a lot of people forget, to kind of do. Or like I know I'll like go have like, giant fucking buffalo chicken wrap or something for the lunch. And it just like makes you feel sluggish. And maybe stay away from that stuff. But
Protein bars.
Protein bars with like some strawberries and like an apple. That would be like a great like little lunch, or like a couple. Well, maybe not the best, but good enough.
Protein bars and anything with electrolytes is super important, right?
Bring a Gatorade, even.
Yeah, get a few. Man, it's kind of cool because a lot of the game stores that I go to locally, or like even I've gone to before, they all have like mini fridges with them and stuff like that in them, and I think that's part of they know that too as much as others do.
Yeah, definitely get some electrolytes into, especially midday. We all kind of slump, like our natural body rhythms are sort of designed to slump around like 1 or 2. So just make sure when you hit that slump, you have some electrolytes, have some food. That's probably in tournament speak. That's probably like around 2 or 3 when that happens. So
is that Jin? Is that what you did at WTC? Something like that.
Let's see. At WTC, what's nice is that the event is catered. So so after your first round of each day, you get to go to lunch, basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we do get time away from the game to sit down, have a meal, and then you can come back for your next round. So as long as you don't, I guess, like super stuff yourself, you're usually pretty okay. There is usually at a lot of tournaments, the more conventional ones, they'll tend to be like sort of water stations as well. So definitely take advantage of those, right? Because you can have a drink of that in between like turns or whatnot as you need them. There's also chairs too. Don't forget that if there are chairs available at your table, just sit down once in a while. It's okay,
You don't have to be that sweaty, yeah. But I mean, no, seriously, that's a huge thing. Like, remember to sit.
Yeah, like especially when you're doing your power phase and cleanup step, right? That's like off the clock if you're using clocks, right? Like it's like take a second to breathe. Just sort of like let yourself think through and slow down a little bit for a second, right? For your stuff. So I think that generally helps a lot. I don't. So for me personally, I don't snack during tournaments, and I feel like my body gets a little weighted down sometimes, like with snacks. If I bring like a protein bar and whatnot. The only time I would recommend it is if you think it's going to be one of those things where like you're going to skip a meal and you're just not going to see anything for a while. And that's where like I think a protein bar is like very, very useful. But this kind of taps in the fact that like is like the better you know your own body, the more you can sort of prep for your specific situation, right? So like some people need a snack because of sugar like greens or glucose or whatever, you need something to hold you over sometimes, right? Or if you're deficient or something in something, like make sure you take up your vitamins, your meds, right?
Yeah.
That you need. Hydration, people hydrate in different ways. Waller can just have a hangover and still play like a beast the next day. I don't know what's going on, but not everyone's
youngins.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we
not
can't all
everyone's
do that.
21.
I mean, like
I do think in general our population underhydrates. So, but like, yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a health topic. But
right. In general, yes, hydration is like usually not a bad thing, right? And use a bathroom between games, if you have time. Typically, Marvel games are nice because like they don't actually like take the full like 2 hours per round. So usually you have time to like just like go use the lube for a second, right, and come back and feel a little more fresh as well.
Yeah. And on that note too, while we're just talking about health stuff, like I know certain players who want to do well competitively also like step out of the socialness for a minute. Like I know DeLuca is kind of infamous for like having his headphones in and just walking away. And if that's something you need to do like internally, like to play your best, like do it. Like, go for a walk, like leave the room, like maybe spend some time just like in a walk outside of the venue, like just in a corner, like by yourself. Like sometimes we just need a time to process the mental load that just happened with a game, and kind of think through, what you can do better, some of your, shortcomings, like looking at your mistakes and things like but sometimes we need to do that alone. And sometimes we need to do that with people. So like whatever works for you, kind of figure that out. You may not know, but you'll get there. Right.
Yeah, agreed. I think there is something to be said the way that Mike does, like, he does to sort of do a sort of a meditative thing of just like, closing off everything and just sort of like letting yourself process and get ready for the next game. And like, I think that's a good way, because what happens is like a lot of times your friends will ask like how you're doing and stuff after a game. And it's good to commiserate like the experience, but sometimes it doesn't give you enough time for yourself, right, to sort of like reset yourself, right, for the next game. So, and I think that's definitely something you want to look out for if you find that that's been a problem, to get back in the headspace sometimes for a next game.
Yeah, absolutely. And like also know that like some people, they're inherently like psychological profiles. You have introverts and extroverts, right? Some people need that like externalization where they have to talk with someone, know kind of what type you are, or learn what kind of type you are for events. Because if you're more introverted, you may need that. You may need to just like step out. If you're more extroverted, you may need to like find a buddy to talk through your game with, right? So just kind of figuring out what works for you is a good way to like work through it. But we all kind of need, events, especially big ones, are like loud. Like sometimes I think everybody, like even if you're extroverted, like you're like, oh my God, I need, taking a moment out of like that noise can be especially helpful.
Yeah, and the setting's going to be different, right? Like your local game shop, like if it's like a a more lax day and it's just a tournament, right? Like that's going to be much more like less sensory like overload versus like if you're at PAX, right? Because like likely when we're at the PAX tournament, there's going to be a lot of sensory like simulation, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in the middle of a convention as well. So if you're a person that like is like tends to get overstimulated, right? You do want to give yourself like that space, right, to reset.
Yeah. Yeah, and just as human beings, like, keep in mind, like, your brain's processing all that information, whether you realize it or not. So it's impacting you. So just, like, getting yourself out of that space can be incredibly helpful to, like, clear your head. Because whether or not we're intentionally focused on what's going on around us, our brain is processing it, because that's what it does. So, yeah, the sensory overload can definitely be, like, a huge thing. So we talked a lot about, like, health stuff. Let's talk about like leading up to an event. So, I guess I'm just going to mention this so I can cross it off the list too, because I mean, we may mention this again, but I think one of the cool things about kind of like setting this intention every so often for a certain event, Jin, you kind of like do this and have been doing this for a while, is like when you take an event seriously like this and you like, I want to do well, I want to put in the time, blah, blah, blah. it's also a process, like event over event, right? Because you learn a lot from like your mistakes, and you learn a lot from even your how you prepare, like what you did wrong to prepare for the event too, right? I know last year my big example here for myself is like Everwinter. I like basically only played Yujin, and so like while that helped me get better when I hit the event, I learned pretty quickly that my list wasn't prepared for the different kinds of lists in the meta. Um, and so that also chimes on to like how you make your list, right? For an event like this. So, anyone else want to go? Because I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, I agree. So you definitely want to stress test your list, right? So first, I would say that if you can get a feel of like who's going to be showing up to your event and what list they're like to bring, that will help sort of narrow the preparation, right? So if you're like, it's like, oh, well, there's an apocalypse specialist coming. They've just been playing apocalypse and they have no intention of not playing apocalypse, right? At this event, then likely that you want to prepare for that matchup, right? As a just in case. So, making sure that it's like, well, who else do I think is there? Well, I think the Night Suns are going to be there, and I think Avengers are going to be there. So you want to hopefully find people that you can practice with. They don't have to be like the top best, but at least people that are just like knowledgeable, like enough in their factions to give you like what's the base like gameplay experience against this affiliation, right?
Yeah. Also, kind of off that too is knowing what you want to play at what threat value. So when you're making your list, sometimes in a competitive environment, it can seem a little difficult when it comes to choosing, your 18, your 17, your 19. So it's good to know ahead of time kind of where like the meat is for your list and where you want to, what you want to run. Like I know a lot of times 5 threats come in depending on what you play at higher threat values. So like if you have things like that you're kind of aware of, it almost makes building the list and playing it in person kind of, I wouldn't say on autopilot, but it definitely makes you feel a bit more relaxed in what you've kind of prepped ahead of time. Instead of scrambling to say, how do I counter something? You could also say, what makes my team better on this threat instead of, let me just throw in a bunch of anti-apocalypse tech or things like that.
Yeah. And to add to that too, you also, especially the missions you're bringing, like those 6 missions, you should kind of know at that, especially at the threat that they're advertised on, like what you expect to bring. And that's kind of like list design as well. Like, I guess, for example, cubes is a good example for webs. And sorry, there's probably going to be some webs examples here, but that's because that's what I've been thinking about recently. But like, so you're thinking about cubes. You're like, okay, this extract plays at 17. So I have to have a 17 that's like probably going to be able to hold a cube, take a damage, and be okay. So like, who am I going to bring, right? So, that opens a space for like Noir, or that opens a space for like Bill, or like something like that. So having those kind of game plans in mind for the stuff that, especially for the stuff that you're bringing. I think like if you're going full ham and trying to win an event, you definitely want like a, every mission, like what is like my best play here, at least for, most of your models.
Yeah. You also want to know too, one of the things that has made me personally a better player is understanding that you won't see a lot of wedding party and Fisk and intrusions and things like that, where it's very attrition heavy. You may not see that often with the way that this game is played now, but when you get to it, if you're not prepared for it, you're going to get hit pretty hard because those are very skill intensive. I would say I think it's a little bit misleading to say you just throw models on a point and just punch. There's definitely a lot more to it. Things like that can kind of almost psych you out if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, for example, like too on those ones, like if you're playing Fisk, like there's people who in their lists make sure they have a Fisk plan so that if they do pull that, like I've seen good players like not walk on the Fisks because they don't have like the most adequate squad. So you got to keep that kind of in mind when you're list building. It's like, can I, do I have enough stun immunity, or am I okay losing power with these models? So those kind of like little nuances of the missions, you got to make sure you like tweak your list too.
Yeah, those in particular almost feel like it completely 360s the way you might play. So, for example, with webs in with foes, right, you're playing wider stuff. So you're kind of just used to that rotation. You're used to that. But what happens when you have to throw a fragile leader in the fray? Like, do you have a plan to make up for that? You know, do you have a 5+ threat, or do you have something that can mitigate a bunch of hits?
And so in the past, I know like A bomb for webs, for example, was like a good splash for like certain things like that. But yeah, you gotta, and I guess that's just like the generalized theme here is like making sure you have a plan for like most of the missions. Whether it's a good plan, maybe not for your faction, but
yeah. So if you have the time, I guess it's like, this is going to scale with like how much time you have to prep, right, for this. So again, like, knowing what you're going to see is going to help sort of dictate like where the focus should be. But I think it would always be good for you to, if you have a main list idea in mind, is to just like try each crisis and see how it feels, right? Especially at the state of threat level. So, if you don't know, if you've never played on a Fisk or a wedding party and you don't understand the nuance of them either moving the objectives closer to each other or further away and how that changes like the board state, try it, with your either friends that are able to play this game. And, it's like, hey, can we just run this, scenario up, right? And see how it does.
Yeah.
You can even do that yourself on TTS if you need to.
Yep.
You could almost just kind of set up a board state and just practice turn 0 deploying and see where it can get you. So, because no matter what, you'll run into those scenarios again. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I've been doing my openings on TTS a lot, just to like on certain missions, just to like sort of get an idea of well, for me right now, it's like how many extracts can I grab safely or unsafely. But like even having that kind of like theme in mind. And I was gonna say real quickly too is like grab a buddy, like just find someone who's like willing to like. It doesn't even have to be a full game, but like, hey, let's run through. I guess this is kind of going into another thing we're gonna talk about, but like, if you like just even one, but if you don't have a full-fledged community and you like want to go to an event and do well, maybe just like one person to either spend an afternoon with you, just kind of like doing a lot of openings or going to like turn 2 and calling it, and like re-racking. That can be a useful way to practice. But just like grabbing someone who's like willing to allow you to just explore and is not like super like cares about like what happens in the game. So more just like, so someone who doesn't give a shit if they win or lose, basically. I'm just gonna run through stuff, like be like, hey, I want to practice this opening today. Hey, I want to practice this specific mission stack. Like, there's, I think more than a lot of people are in the community are definitely willing to do that. So like, even if you like are like looking for a game, you can go to our Discord, be like, hey, I'm looking for a game, but I want to play on this. Like, you probably find someone who'll be willing to, maybe not at that exact time, but like, feel free to use our Discord for that if you are practicing for something.
If
I had some ideas and then I lost them.
Yeah, if anybody wants to, I mean, if people are on Discord and they're looking for a game, I'm more than willing to help them if they're new or they want to kind of get the feel for it. I've definitely done it in the past with some really awesome people in our Discord and kind of gone through usually what we'll do. And, when you're kind of just playing to learn is you'll let someone make a move and then just kind of talk about it and just think about all the potential scenarios. And hey, sometimes just double walking is better, or sometimes your opponent across from you is going to do this to you. So how do you counter react to that? And maybe placement is really important. Place yourself against something that you can backstop on, and just kind of go over those ideas instead of just giving you the whole gotcha moment. It's really cool because that's how I did a lot of learning, which was, oh, I made a mistake. I'm not going to take it back on purpose because if I do, I didn't learn anything from it. So I want to be able to make those mistakes and pay for it so I know next time not to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, I think, I don't know, Jin, how you learned or practiced, but I do know that like that's definitely something we were doing last year. So
yeah,
to an extent.
Yeah, it's hard for me to sometimes like visualize some things. So it really sometimes like I just need to get punched with a thing, right? And just see like it's like, oh yeah, this is really bad. Like it's like oh, let's see, I'm playing against Wakanda. I hit 2 things and gave King T 3 power. how bad does this go? It goes really bad. Very, very, very bad. I should never let him do this.
Yeah. Or the Inhumans game we played recently. It's like, I don't really know what any of these guys do. Let's just play a game and see how it goes. And you like fucking rocked me. So
yeah.
So
it's all gas, baby. You just have to figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, burn all those team tactics cards early. Just burn them. Burn through them.
But like that's a really important point. Like there's a community. If you're listening to this, there's a community out there that you're part of that you can reach out to get like some prep if you're prepping for an event. And B, like find someone that's willing to do that. Like, maybe once a week you're like, okay, let's just spar and like run through like some missions really quickly. Sometimes you get really caught up in the game and you're like, oh, let's just keep going and play the game out, but because it's fun, right? But other times you just kind of want that intention of the practice. And if you're trying to do well at an event, like getting more practice on more missions against more affiliations is kind of the basic concept that we're saying here. So like, make sure you're like hitting lots of different things because it'll, different affiliations play this game drastically differently. You have like webs versus like, I don't know, old Thanos Cabal. Like those are two, I know they're not current right now, but like those are two very, very different play styles that will affect how you should be playing the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, even the top dogs right now, like Apocalypse and Inhumans, right? Though there are two vastly different ways to win the game at the moment.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. I guess we haven't mentioned yet is identifying the general meta that's out there, right? So right now, I'll just tell you straight up, it's like Inhumans, APOC, Webs will probably be there still. Midnight Suns,
Avengers are still always relevant. Like
Wakanda is always good.
Wakanda's always
pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. So those kind of 5 affiliations. There's more, but like those 5 are definitely solid things. And like if you have time too, I guess like a lot of this too that we're talking about is like how much time do you actually have? But if you're taking an event seriously, I'm guessing you're willing to put in time, right? That's kind of why I said that at the beginning. Because like if you're not willing to put in time, maybe don't go with the expectations that you're going to win it or anything like that, right? Because it does take time to not only learn your own affiliation, but learn how you work on every mission, learn how you work against different matchups. Like that just takes a lot of time. That's why a lot of people don't switch affiliations, right? I think because picking up a new one you have to do this all over again. So
yeah, this applies to all the Kingpin players out there, all those Criminal Syndicate players.
The Devil's Walk is always a move.
Kingpin on pay to flips isn't that bad.
No, he's not. I still think you need a secondary plan, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes,
it is. You
is.
still have an extract passing, so like if it's like stackable extracts like hammers or like cubes, like I think the Kingpin and leadership is still very interesting. Like in those scenarios,
extract passing is undervalued, I think.
Newer Kingpin players don't do it, and I'm like, why aren't you passing your extracts?
I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a second part to that, which I was one of those people.
It's actually the first part on the card.
Is it the first?
Yeah, it's actually the first part on his card. Yeah.
We gloss over that then.
Yeah, everyone just like skips the giant paragraph that says you can pass extracts and moves right to the you count as 2.
Counting. Yeah, it sounds cooler. So there you go.
You're welcome, Simon. we plugged your affiliation. Yeah, so I guess moving on too is like, I mean, we're already kind of talking about this, but like refining your list. So you have your list, you picked your affiliation, you're like, cool, I'm bringing this to this event. I am going to do my best at this event. Then I guess your second question is like, how much time do I have to commit to like doing my best? And keep in mind, like, I guess I should say this too, is like when you're doing any of this process, you don't have to do everything we're saying. If your intent is to do as well as you can with the time that you have, that's perfectly fine. Like not all of us can play like 17 games in a week, like me. So that was a crazy week, to be fair. But I had a lot of free time that week, so I just kept grinding. And none of us all have the access to like TTS people who will do that with us. Like, I can thank Kenny almost single-handedly for allowing me to play that many games, right? So
shout outs to Kenny.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. He's always down to game. It's crazy. He's like, yeah, okay, I guess I can.
Is he still playing Wakanda?
Yeah, he's on Wakanda now. At the time, it was Midnight Suns, I think.
Love it.
But yeah, yeah. So you picked your list. You decided how much time you're actually willing to kind of allocate to, doing as well as you can at an event coming up. So what do you do next? This is called the grinding period. So just play games, practice as much as you can, I think, with the time that you've given yourself.
Yeah, I like your next point here, where we discuss kind of playing against as many affiliations as you can, because those can also be the gotcha moments where I used to play a lot of foes early on when nobody was touching them. And it was kind of like, yeah, this isn't the best, but the advantage feels good because no one knows what my cards even do. And that's why I alluded to earlier, which was kind of know what you're playing, know your threats, know your crises, like we discussed, kind of because this game is, blown up so big. There's so many affiliations that you're really never going to be able to prep for all of them. So if you prep for what you're good at and stick to your game plan, everything else kind of falls into place naturally as, things progress.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I would focus on that. But if you can get reps into weird things like Brotherhood or, Hellfire or something,
Sure, yeah.
some weird lists, try to, because that'll help avoid those gotcha moments.
Yeah, and that can also kind of revolve around specific models that are popular too that you see in other affiliations that kind of can,
like Shang-Chi right now. You should definitely know how to play in it, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I feel like every player should kind of understand how the first Steve Rogers leadership works, because I feel like that one can really throw people off with the amount of pressure you can put on the board state off the bat. And I think that kind of gets people. So, I agree with you. There's certainly things you need to know as well. I think it's like a nice 50-50 balance, right?
Yeah. I think knowing your own list is probably more important. But, it's both, I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah, knowing when Gwen is going to yoink you off a point turn one with one power is good to know. Good to remember.
The answer to that question is always.
Yeah. No matter what, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Jen, you got anything to add to any of that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think obviously with infinite time, you can go and prep everything that you can. But the refining list, I think if you are limited for time, I think the best thing you can probably do is to focus on the crisis first and then the opponents, right? That's if you have a plan to score points on each crisis, then that's going to help out sort of figure out what do you actually need in your list, right? So for instance, if you have a list of a bunch of webs, but there's no one that can stand on an intrusion point because they all just will die to a low key 2 or something like that. And you're it's okay, maybe we should think about someone that can fulfill a role of being here and not immediately perishing, for instance, So you start to look at the gaps in your list, for the crisis that you don't think you have a great solid plan in. Because most of the time, I feel like you're going to have a core of your list, and it doesn't have to be the same core. But let's say 50 or 60% of your list is going to be all right, this is my game plan for stuff. Then the splashes are probably going to be for situations that are not optimal for you, right? Or for specific situations. And knowing what those splashes are, I think it's going to depend on what do you find lacking in the situations that you think you might have trouble with, right? And I would say let the crisis plans dictate that first, and then you can be more specific of well, do I need a specific APOC answer? Do I need a specific Inhumans answer, for instance, if I expect to see those,
Yeah. Also, don't let dice ruin an affiliation for you, because dice are random, and it doesn't always dictate how well you can play a specific affiliation or leadership. I've known plenty of people who have played things that throw a lot of dice and they're like, man, the dice just isn't working, this stuff just isn't good, and I'm done with it. Well, that doesn't mean it's not worth exploring, and it doesn't mean that you need to dump it immediately. It's just sometimes you have to put that variance into play and maybe play a couple games where you don't attack as much and see. I've done things in the past where I've played a few games and I barely attack the entire game and kind of just see how you can shift the board without it, see how that works in your favor, or even if it works horribly against you, then so be it. But at least it's something that you can learn, because I think rotating too is one of the things in this game that's people kind of have a tough time grabbing or grasping, just because I feel like this game promotes a lot of attrition, and it's what people want to do. And if it's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I get it, trust me. But sometimes it's cool to like unlock other parts of the list. It also goes back to I don't really think there's anything that's truly bad in this game. I think you could make anything work with enough reps. So don't let the dice kind of frustrate you and turn you off of something that you enjoy. There are other ways to play, the same affiliation.
Yeah, and on that note too, like I should mention here, I think one of my biggest early mistakes too is because it's so easy in MCP to slide in, slide out a character. Like you don't, unlike other games where you have to like equip them.
Yes.
Don't drop your characters if one doesn't perform well, in a couple of games.
Unless it's Electro.
Keep them around. Yeah, I guess unless it's Electro. But you've been playing foes long enough to make that executive decision, Yeah. But like, for example, like Bill is he's a really good example because he's inherently a really fucking good model. On the missions that you need like a tough character to like maybe hold an extract, maybe even just throw people off secures. He's a really good piece. But like, there's games where Bill gets one shot, dies and then gets condition bombed.
Sure.
And he just doesn't do anything.
Sure.
Don't drop Bill just because of that one, that happened one or two games. Like keep him around, keep playtesting. And I think the inherent thing here is like get enough games where you can start to see higher level if something's working, if a model's working for you or not, right? And it takes more than like 1 or 2 games. It takes, in my opinion, probably takes like 5 to 10 to really make that decision. So,
yeah, and you can sort of have an idea of like what's like an average like dice pool. Like if you're rolling like offensive 5 dice, you'll probably expect like 2 or 3 successes, right? On defense, it's like 1 to 2, or 1 to 2 on 3 or 3 defense dice. So it's like, okay, there should be like a net 1 or 2 damage, like through like, you shouldn't be expecting like, 5 damage every time, right? With the 5 dice pool against most things. So sort of like let that sort of temper your expectation. And also, give yourself the grace that your dice are kind of out of your control, like outside of you, like deciding to re-roll stuff or manipulate things if you have abilities. But a raw dice roll is really just out of your hands, guys. It's going to go however it's going to go. And you have to.
So then, Jin, what's more important? Maybe positioning, right?
Yeah.
Rolling skulls.
Rolling skulls. Jin's like, there's only one thing that's on my mind right now, and that's a skull.
The skull told me to do it, as the best Indiana Jones quote.
Oh yeah, don't bring that movie up.
I love that.
That's a polarizing one. But yeah, focusing more on like I think the game basics, right? Like things that aren't, in gaming terms we call it variance, right? Things that don't have high variance are probably things you can change, and probably things that like characters are better at. So like, I don't know what a good example. I just use Bill. So like maybe you like hold Bill's activation later, and that'll solve the like condition bombing, right? So like little things like that, I think are important to figure out with your list too. So I like Sean's idea of like not like playing a game and like trying not to attack and just seeing what happens. It's kind of cool thought tank there.
Sometimes I have decent ideas.
No,
it's
okay. Fine. I had one good idea.
One good idea. Go ahead, Jin.
No, I mean, like, it is surprising sometimes, like, doing nothing is the correct thing to do. And that's just going to have to come with experience, right? For that.
Yeah.
That's the mental struggle of, it's right, the model's right there. Sometimes the best thing is to just walk, and the way I like to think about it is, especially if you're an extract holder, it's like, man, those are 2 points that you could be potentially, getting every turn, churning out just by sitting on a point. Like, and I know it's not fun, but sometimes that's the right play. Like Bill, right? Sit Bill, grab an extract with Bill and just pop him on a point and say, come get me.
Yeah. Thinking about later turns too. Like these are kind of like how to become better as a player in general, which we do want to do an episode on eventually. But yeah, maybe just like if you're prepping for something that you find important, like try playing slightly differently, or if you're, for example, maybe I say, Sean, play like, like an attrition list, see what it's like, and like focus on damage. Maybe you just like one day are like, I'm going to roll, instead of not rolling any attacks, be like, I'm going to roll every attack and see what happens.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
So just play differently in your kind of like preparation for it, I think can help you like get out of your box. Because I think when you kind of pick an affiliation and like do a lot of reps with it, and you're trying to do well at an event, like it's sometimes really easy to get like stuck in your head that like this is what's good for me. This is my, even like your game plans for missions, can at a certain point, if you're getting enough reps or you do this long enough, you're like you get stuck in like your opening on something and you kind of lose a little bit of that ability to adapt. So always remember that like this game's adaptable. It's a 2-person game. Like what your opponent does should influence the way that you move your models, right?
Yeah, and just roll better.
Well, yeah, roll better.
Yeah, and just roll better.
Yeah. There's ways to solve that. Microwaves are a great tool in rolling better. I'm just kidding. Make sure you check my dice next time you play me.
Have you considered the nuclear option?
Yeah, if you're really frustrated, you just put your skulls up in the microwave. I'm just kidding. I've never tried to bake dice. Not really. The microwave thing feels like a myth to me, to be completely honest. I don't know if it actually works or not.
I feel like you'll just have melted plastic on your microwave. Like
yeah, you'd be like, "Did you try to bake your dice and now your plastic just melted?" Yup. Tia, judge.
Battle damaged miniatures.
Yeah. All right. So we kind of went through refining lists, playing everything. We kind of did some no-nos. Things you should not do. That's so hard to like saying no-nos. It like really depends on your intention. Like if you're trying to do well in an event, maybe, like making sure you're staying, I think it's more like a outside of the game, like making sure you're getting enough reps before the event. And then someone want to say something?
No. I mean,
you're just breathing heavily.
Yeah. I decided it was time to start that portion of the podcast.
Excellent.
It gets to be around 10 o'clock and Sean's like, Silk.
I did that, except I was muted, so.
Silkalicious, as Waller likes to call her. No. Let's just see if we've. We kind of. I guess like one last kind of thing. Well, we'll go over kind of like final thoughts here, but like one last thing that we have on our notes here to kind of cover is like which we kind of did cover, but the mental game, and we want to talk specifically about like tilting and sportsmanship. I will give like a disclaimer. If you think you can't tilt, then I don't know. I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of people who don't tilt often, but tilting is if you're taking the game seriously and you want to do well, inevitably you're going to have feelings of wanting to do well. You're going to have feelings of pressure. You're going to have emotions that like come out of nowhere that you didn't expect about like really wanting to get that extract. Things like that can like creep up. I'm not saying most people don't act on this, but this is a variance game. And so like, a human reaction to variance or like randomness is like getting frustrated. And so tilting does happen to a lot of people, and maybe it hasn't happened to you. Great. There might be a time where it does. And so I guess we kind of want to talk a little bit about like having a game plan for like tilting. Mine's always just go to the bathroom mid-game. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So stepping away. I go to the bathroom a lot though, so oftentimes I just go to the bathroom because I have to go pee. But any other like thoughts on that? I don't want to like just talk about that myself.
Yeah, I mean, allow yourself to make mistakes. Like everybody in this game makes mistakes. I mean, if you can play a clean game every single game, I mean, kudos to you. But you're going to make mistakes. I mean, so is your opponent. It's going to happen. You kind of just learn from them and move on and know your outs and things like that. As long as you kind of give yourself grace and just know that it's not a world ender, I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah. I think just being kind to yourself, right, is really the thing I'd say about mental tilting as far as like game plan against it. It's like give yourself the room to make mistakes, right? And just like you can't control everything. So like in a game of chaos where there's chaotic elements, those things are just out of your hands and you didn't influence them, right? Outside of you where you like position or let the opportunity happen. And, if that's a mistake, then, just you have to accept that, this has already happened. You have to deal with the situation now. And for next time, just try to remember to either avoid or, encourage that situation if it was good or bad. Right. So, that's the biggest thing I just want to say is that like, let players, you should be kinder to yourself,
Yeah, that's great, Jin. And I think a great way to combat tilting in general, and probably something that people notice when they play against me, is like I laugh a lot about things. I mean, I genuinely laugh a lot. You listen to this podcast, like you fucking know, but like if something goes wrong, like just try to laugh about it and remember you're in the context of like this. I don't get tilted very often. Kenny's probably the only person who's seen me like be like, I gotta go.
I've seen you rant and rave about King T. Don't you hide that?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, don't play into King T 30 times in a month and not expect to get frustrated.
For the sake of your mental health, you probably shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Every laugh just masks crying on the inside, Steven. That's all.
It was like every night I'd be like, "Go, this fucking guy again." But in all seriousness, like combating things with laughter is a great way for your opponent to have a good time while they're capitalizing on your mistakes, and B, it's just like kind of an easy way to like remember that this is a game at the end of the day. It's not really that important in the scheme of your your life, especially one game. So like, and you oh, go ahead.
No, I mean like, yeah, let's not forget that we are playing a Toy Soldiers games, guys. So like, we can be as serious as we want about the prep and stuff like that, but keep in mind that there is a human being right at the other end of the table. So just make sure you guys are still having fun to the best of your ability. Like try to make this an enjoyable experience because it takes two people to play this game, right?
Yeah,
they don't
have someone across the table from you.
Yeah,
yeah, they could be your new best friend. You don't even know it.
Right. Yeah, very true. Like a lot of my close friends are from gaming. So
yeah, remember there's a social aspect to it as well.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of leads me to talk about like expectations as well in general. It's not on the sheet here, but I just thought of it. So a lot of a tournament can be maybe not tournament over tournament, like performing well tournament over tournament is different than like a lot of tournaments can just not go your way. So if you're in that kind of situation, just kind of reassess. Like maybe you did all this prep and like you lose your first two games. It happens. Maybe then at that moment in time, be like, what am I going to learn from this? And like, how am I going to do the best? But like a lot of the pairings are random. So like, 40K, especially where you had like 3 or 4 top factions, you could just hit all the same faction over and over again. And you just like make a couple mistakes and or the dice don't go your way for 2 games in a row. That happens. Like that fucking happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. You'll live to play another day. So just like, I think at that point in the tournament, and it can feel bad, I'm going to be honest. We're talking about all this stuff that you could potentially do to like prepare to do well. And sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Don't like blame yourself. Like Jin's point, just be kind to yourself. Be like, oh, well, what did I learn through this tournament prep that I can bring to my next, tournament? That's why it's good to have multiple tournaments a year where you're kind of doing this. It's a lot of work to do this stuff, but like, it's like, again, preparing for that race, like having an event that you want to like perform well at. So not so you can necessarily guarantee that you perform well at it, but so you can see the experience of what it takes to like work hard at something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also take good advice. A lot of people in this in this game have taught me a lot of good things and given me a lot of good advice, a lot of constructive criticism about how to play things certain ways, or like cute things I haven't seen, or cool little like nuances and of the game, and it's really helped.
Yeah, you can't know everything.
And you're not expected to. You shouldn't be expected to. It's some of the people that are the best at this game, like they make mistakes, and they're human too. Like you're just as good as they are.
Yeah, and so whenever I like to look at least me individually when I'm playing a game, I'm looking at like consistency over individual performance. I think that's an important caveat here too, is like, am I consistently playing my best game? Am I consistently having a good time? And then am I consistently doing well at like tournament over tournament? Because like we all have bad fucking tournaments. It's just part of the fucking, I think it's just part of the tournament circuit. When you go to an event, like sometimes you just do bad, like for whatever reason. And it can also be like, just physically or psycho-emotionally. Maybe like something just happened in your life. Maybe you had a stressful week. Maybe, like that can affect the way you play. Like, and so remember that, like you're a human being sitting here across from another human being. So like ultimately all that prep, all that whatever, what was it? It's, to have a good time and to like play this game to the best that you can do on that day. Maybe that's not your best all the time, right? But on that particular day, that's all you could give. I think that's really important to remember.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, I guess?
Yeah, just play better.
Play better, yeah. Yeah. Well, I just had like a moment of like a deep, wow, that's really deep, Stephen. You're welcome, listeners.
Pat yourself on the back, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's almost like I used to do that for a living. But...
Make sure to caress every silk card that's in your lap right now.
Well, it's a little late for that, Jim.
Well,
he bought multiple
I have literally
boxes.
been holding it the whole time.
Yeah, he's got all of the different silk cards in different languages. He's got like 20 different copies of each one.
It's just all silk.
And I
all silk all the time.
Legitimately cannot blame you. Like there's nothing I can say against that.
Yeah, so the secret here, now that Sean's on the podcast, is that like I may be like overtly in love with silk. Sean's like closeted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like don't want to admit how much you are in love with that character.
Jin, dude, watching your game, oh my! I was watching like a silk turn takes like 10 minutes, and I love every second of it.
It's so much fun. Holy shit, dude!
There's so many complexities to the character that I feel like every time you use her, you're doing something different each time.
Yeah. Well, Sean, that reminds me of like the last time we played. Like you were like, "Oh yeah, whatever I'm doing doesn't matter. Just activate silk."
Yeah, let me see her. Who cares what I'm doing? Show me her.
I dived with her in that game too, which you were like, "Oh wow, she's a great diver."
Yeah. You said, "Man, I lined myself up for like 6 attacks here," and I said, "Don't worry about it. You'll be fine."
You're all good. Just do it.
Lo and behold.
So, listeners, the next time you expect Stephen Bork at a tournament, please have a model that turns off rerolls so that you can destroy Silk very quickly and destroy his spirit.
Jin, she died every single game in that team tournament. Every single game, without doubt. So, she dies. It's always sad and tragic, if you will. You mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Well,
yeah, Billiam
she's
Shakespeare.
like my Juliet. Isn't that like a Warhammer game called Shakespeare or something like that?
Shadespire, you mean?
Yeah, Shadespire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At least I'm not crazy.
No, you're still crazy.
Yeah. Well, we all are in our own ways.
Also true. Yes, agreed.
But cool. So, any final thoughts?
Hey, hope to see you at these events that we listed. Please come and hang out with us. We're all friendly, and we all would like to see more faces. And if you are a returning face, we'd love to see you again. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sean, anything?
Yeah, see you guys in December.
Welcome to Good First Episode. You're welcome.
Yay!
Once again, thank you guys. This is awesome. So I do seriously, on a serious note, I do really appreciate it. It's very cool to be here, with you guys talking stuff that's important to us. This is, I mean, it's a game, but it's also more than that, right? Because I'm here.
Right.
So it's much more than just that. It's like we've said before, socially. I mean, this is awesome. It opens up, like it branches off and opens up new things. You can meet new people. I mean, I think it's just awesome. I think it's just a very cool community, and it's a great way to kind of open yourself up to new experiences.
Yeah. I will say too, I guess while we're on that point, if you made it to this part of the episode, so male communities, like socially, we don't have a lot of like sports. And then once you hit like 30 and you're too old to play sports, there's not a ton of ways to like meet other dudes to like be friends with. And I just want to acknowledge in the miniature community how great it is. Like, if I look at all my male friends, especially like my close male friends, especially, or people I talk to regularly, they're all from gaming. I maybe have one male friend that's I met him through acupuncture school, but like, beyond that. So, I mean, look, it's a great way to meet people at the end of the day. So, and we won't get so heartwarming in future episodes because it's the rivalry's on. Jin's back. Gotta make fun of him. So,
Womp womp.
I got all the meanness to cash up for.
But no, 100% though. Like, if we could be sincere for a second, like having a third place, especially as a male in modern society, like after the age of 30, especially, like it is really important for people just to have a reason to talk to other folks. And it's so funny because like Kelly's like, it's like, well, do you know what everyone's like a lot of things about people personally? It's like, no, but I love these guys anyway, because we're all enjoying this hobby together. And you can talk about more serious stuff, but like I feel that like just the interaction that you have across the table a lot of times, like is very healthy, right, for your spirits and your emotions. I think So,
absolutely. And oh, sorry, Jin, I interrupted you. I guess it's starting now.
It begins. Ding, everybody! another interruption. So yeah, I think in third place is just very important. Whether or not and even if we don't have like a physical space, it could be a game store, it could be like a club or something. But even like online, like it's not face to face necessarily, but it will facilitate us eventually meeting face to face, and we can catch up a little better.
Yeah, so I'll also give an example to that. So over the summer, I had to stop, because of school. I got so busy, I like stopped playing games, and I even mean just like stop logging onto our Discord. I stopped kind of like talking to you. For the most part, I stopped talking to a lot of people from the community. And after this fall, when I was like, I need this in my life, like just even like playing or talking and whatever. Like there are nights where I'm like, I live alone by myself without like a girlfriend. I mean, my dog's there, but like. The weeks that I don't play MCP feel a lot lonelier. So even just kind of like adding that back into your life can like help like facilitate, serotonin release, like it's helpful. Like having friends is important, right? Even if they're not physically with you all the time. So, I think it's really well said, Jin, in that, this is I don't know how this came up, but it's really important. I think for you hit a certain age, it's really hard to meet people like friends,
we can all share in back pain together too.
Oh, well, I can needle you for that. But Jin wouldn't let me needle him at the team tournament. I got really bummed out. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bummed out.
I just would rather you finish your training first before you do that.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm almost there to be honest, which is kind of cool. I got about a year left. So, anyways, we have talked. I didn't want to look at the timestamp. Now I will. Okay, almost 2 hours. Nice. And Eric wasn't even on. Oh wait.
Well, the audience
and Eric
members...
wasn't. Hold on. And Eric wasn't even on.
Yep. So this is when audience members knows when I'm back on the podcast is when an episode just flagrantly goes well over time, as per usual.
Yeah, Mike and I had like short hour-long episodes. All right, though. Well, so pick an event, go to it. We hope to see you at one of our locals. PAX and Everwinter are two big ones coming up. So get prepping. And you can follow us. Link below to our Discord. You can check out our schedule. Will probably be 3 weeks of MCP, 1 week of Shatterpoint, month over month. Or it might change, but whatever. So expect some more Shatterpoint content. Join our Discord below, get some games. You can get prep there. Again, mentioned it several times. So like join just so you can even find like some buddies to play with. Our affiliate link, Huge Miniatures, link below. Oh my God, I hate when I do this to myself. Upcoming shit. I don't know what I meant by that. So there's some upcoming shit. Do it.
I mean, please come to the Coffee Milk Crisis tournament at the Crypt on November 8th in Providence, Rhode Island. It is very short notice since it's pretty soon, but please support our friends because they're trying to get a local scene going.
Yeah, and as always, Godspeed, William Shakespeare. All right, good night.